Don in London, hello. March 27th, 2009, Friday morning, just coming up to 10 to 9 in the morning. And my video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My substance, alcohol, my behaviour, I suppose can be summarised as trying to be perfect at whatever I did, because I thought you wanted me to be perfect. And I suspect I wanted to be perfect too. And it took me a long time to realise that we just keep on making progress on a daily basis. So my addiction to alcohol, in recovery for some time, I go to the fellowship of AA, that's Alcoholics Anonymous, to help me make sense of the days I have. That's one day at a time, rather than speculating too far into the future about what my condition might be, or going back into my past and being stuck in it. So how am I today? Well, when we wake up, there's an inner voice going off in our heads, and it says something along the lines of, it's bright, it's sunny, it's winter, I'm okay, I'm not okay, depending on how we fared the last day or so. So there is always this inner voice which talks to us. It is our own conscience probably talking to us. And in the fellowship of AA, sometimes it's called John Barleycorn, which is the old voice which keeps on saying, I want it back the way it was. I want to be able to drink. I want to be free. And the gift these days is I realise that freedom comes from choices made in sobriety rather than choices made under the influence of something which was not letting me see the reality of now. So where am I today? More able to see what is real, in less denial, less filters about me and my life, and trying to get on as best I can. So the fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is integral to my daily well-being. And I go to meetings at least once a day if I can, sometimes twice on Saturdays and Sundays, or during the week if there is an opportunity to do so. I don't speak for AA, never can, never will, but I can speak about how my recovery is going and what AA means to me. So at the beginning of every meeting, the preamble is shared for those who attend a meeting, and it goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I guess the learning in that for me is if I keep myself sober, I have a better chance of making a bit of progress on a daily basis and having a bit of joy or a bit of sadness as the day offers. So, my spiritual condition has been improved by trying to find the truth of now. My emotional situation is improved because I know more about what is going on for me, and I don't try and deny whether life is joyful or sad. It's just the way life is, and there is acceptance in that. And when we start to accept life on life's terms, just as it may be today, we stop being troubled by what will people think of us, or it's our imagination, I guess, which can take us into places which just do not help if we are worried or concerned or fearful. And I guess for a long time I was very fearful of life, which drove me, it made me driven to be perfect, and it didn't work. Nobody can be perfect, not even for themselves or other people. We can just be and be a part of, and that is the gift of the fellowship. It offers inclusion, a place to find our truth and find less denials and less filters, so that when we're in the world of everybody, society, community, family, we have a better eye of what we can do and what we are able to do. And what helps me also is going the literature of AA, which I share here, the book of daily reflections. It's a page a day, and for each month it covers one of the 12 steps of action in the action program of the fellowship. And if you have addiction to either substance or behaviour which is not alcohol, you'll probably find there is a fellowship out there which may help you. And I cannot speak for them either. I can only speak as I find for me. If I were to look at my behaviour over the years, I can see plenty of examples of addictive behaviour when I wasn't drinking. It would come out some other way. And if I tried to do more than 12 steps of action by joining more fellowships, I suspect I'd end up doing 144 steps in 12 fellowships and make no progress whatsoever. So I try and concentrate on one fellowship and one set of steps at a time, as I do with one day at a time. So daily reflections for today feels very appropriate for me. It talks about AA freedoms for March 27th, and it goes like this: we trust that already we already know what our several freedoms truly are, that no future generation of AAs will ever feel compelled to limit them. Our AA freedoms create the soil in which genuine love can grow. I craved freedom, first freedom to drink, later freedom from drink. The AA program of recovery rests on a foundation of free choice. There are no mandates, laws or commandments. AA's spiritual program, as outlined in the 12 steps, and by which I am offered even greater freedoms, is only suggested. I can take it or leave it. Sponsorship is offered, not forced, and then I come and go as I will. It is these and other freedoms that allow me to recapture my dignity that was crushed by the burden of drink, and which is so dearly needed to support an enduring sobriety. And I breathe a sigh of relief when I read that, because it means that I can't tell you what to do, and you can't tell me what to do. And it's more fundamental than that. It's actually the freedom to choose our life and how to live it. And the gift is, in fellowship, we find the freedom to be ourselves, not bedeviled by an addiction to either substance or behaviour, just simply trying to make the best of what is, and what is now. And sometimes we need to have a bit of a future sense of what we need and where we're going. But overall, if we can make this one day work, being in the moment of now, we need not fear or put on a brave face or have ego driving us in some insane fashion. As Bill sees it, this book, I like it. And I think a lot of people probably feel it undermines their understanding of the law of AA, and I mean not LAW law, but the folklore, LORE, the folklore of AA, where there are traditions and suppositions which people fall into. But when you start to read the actual text and literature and the intention and the suggestions of the program, it's all about freedom to make our own minds up. Simply that, and not to be kowtowing to anybody. And it says here on page 60, brain power alone, and this really applies to me as much as anybody. To the intellectually self-sufficient man or woman, many AAs can say, yes, we were like you, far too smart for our own good. We love to have people call us precocious. We used our education to blow ourselves up into prideful balloons, though we were careful to hide this from others. Secretly we felt we could float above the rest of the folks on our brain power alone. And for me that meant I actually was one step removed from what was going on. I was trying to think it through to an end which I wanted, rather than actually live what is happening. Scientific progress told us that there was nothing man couldn't do. Knowledge was all powerful. Intellect could conquer nature. Since we were brighter than most folks, so we thought, the spoils of victory would be ours for the thinking. The God of intellect displayed the God of our fathers, or the God of our spiritual and emotional understanding. But John Barleycorn, as it says here, that's the inner voice that attacks us, had other ideas. We who had won so handsomely in a walk turned into all-time losers. We saw that we had to reconsider or die. And you know what? I didn't know I was an alcoholic until I really, really was one. And that gift of intellect, it slowed me down. It was my intellect, my best thinking got me to AA. My best thinking kept me drinking because I thought my willpower would will over anything. And I learned that from my father, and he spent 45 years with this particular malady as well. And these days I understand the measures, if you like, emotional, spiritual, physical well-being. And that's what the program offers, simply that. It won't solve the logic of life. It won't solve the immediate economic and financial problems or materialism, but it will help us understand where we are within all of this. So when I say, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, I know I'm trying to be on the right path just for today.